Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Codeman Movies. Is this working? This is like the third time I tried. It's working. Okay. Welcome to another episode of Codeman Movies, everybody. So glad to actually be talking about movies this time around. Well, I have been talking about movies the last few episodes. So happy to be doing a talking that hasn't been pre-recorded. How about that? It's not necessarily live, but I will be uploading it as soon as it's done. So you know what I mean. Anyways, guys, I'm back from South Carolina. I will tell you, was a very successful trip. I found a place to live. I found a job. I will be moving to South Carolina January 14th. So I am out of this cold-infested place. Currently in South Carolina, it's like, 43 degrees, 32 degrees, maybe coldest, like in the middle of the night. So yeah, I'm very excited, guys, to move into a warmer climate where there's no snow. Yeah, guys, that's the big news. The background will look a little different very soon. So around that time, I don't know how many videos maybe I'll put up pre-recorded stuff again. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that's the big news, guys. I am officially moving. I put in my notice for my current job, so I will be done there by the end of this year. By starting 2023 with this big thing that I'm going to be doing, moving down south. Big change, and I'm very excited for it. I really am. So that is the big news, guys. I have finally done it. I've been saying for probably the last 10 years now that I was going to move down south somewhere, and I've finally done it. So I'm very, 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 very excited, guys. I'm going to make sure this is going. I'm kind of stalling. But anyways, guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you are having a good Christmas week. There's, 5 days till Christmas or something like that? I don't know. It's getting close. But yeah, guys, without further ado, let's talk about some movies. But first, grab your beverage. Tonight, I am trying to finish up some of my liquor cabinet. I'm going to bring it to my Christmas. I'm going to bring it to anybody who wants liquor because I don't want to move it 16 hours away. That's a long ways away. So I'm using up my liquor. I have peach bitters with some peach juice, essentially, and Malibu. And it's different, but I like it. It's different. It's very different, but it's enjoyable. So you guys, without further ado, let's get started talking about movies. Starting out, guys, so I have to start by saying I don't love Christmas, and I don't love Christmas movies necessarily. There's very few Christmas movies that I like. So like with Halloween time, I watched a lot of horror movies. I've been trying to force myself to watch Christmas movies, and I've been struggling to do it. So the first one I watched was Christmas Story, and good God, this thing. Wait, what just happened? Hold on. Stay with me, guys. Stay with me. You haven't left, have you? Guys, stay with me. Okay, I brought it back. It's okay. Guys, why were you freaking out? It's okay. I fixed it. Guys, calm down. I fixed it. Guys, breathe. I fixed it. And oh my God, we're dying. What happened? World War VII. Okay, it's okay, guys. It's okay. Calm down. We fixed it. It's okay. Anyways, guys, let's start out with my first movie. It's still not fixed. Hold on, guys. Calm down. I'm gonna fix it. Hang on. I'm gonna fix it, guys. It's okay. It's okay. Guys. You're not breathing. Breathe. Damn it. Okay. 6400. I do this so nobody can get in. Because I live in an apartment building, so you never know who's going to try to get in my Apple TV. And oh my God, did it get fixed? Guys, it got fixed. It's all right. Calm down. What were we even doing here? Oh, that's right. We're talking about movies, guys. First movie I watched of the last, I guess it's going to be almost 2 weeks here. But, that's not what I wanted. Guys, I'm having technical difficulties tonight. Anyways, guys, first movie I watched, A Christmas Story. I remember watching this movie. I apologize. I got to fix this. Anyways, guys, I watched this movie because the second one came out on HBO Max. So I wanted to watch the first one because I don't remember much of the first one because I don't love this movie. I'm going to start out by saying that. The first time I watched this movie, guys, would have been in 7th grade math class. Believe it or not, I had a really cool math teacher. He let us watch movies while we did our homework. And, I don't know. Did it help? I think it maybe did. I don't know. It made it easier for me to go up and ask. I don't know if you're one of those people, but I'm one of those people that I was very scared to go up and talk to the teacher. I was embarrassed by it. I thought everyone would be looking at me going, he's talking to the teacher. He doesn't know what he's doing. it was a lot easier for me to go and talk to the teacher because everyone was paying attention to the movie. But he would always have movies on. He really did. He would always have movies on. He would grade papers and watch the movie. We would do our homework and watch the movie. And that was 7th grade math class. And I specifically remember watching this for the first time in that class. And I remember then going, eh. And this time watching it, eh. I don't love this movie. I really don't. I don't understand why this is a movie that is played like on TBS for 24 hours on Christmas Day. I just don't understand it. I really don't. What I will say about this movie that is great, though, is it does a great job of capturing the mind of a child. It does a great job of, we've all daydreamed as children. We all go into these other places as children, and this movie does a great job of showing that. I will say that. It also does a great job of showing the emotion of a child. When we're angry, when a child is angry, what they will do. Sadness, excitement. The characters they feel like real people, and I really appreciate that. The writing is very nicely done in that sense, that it makes these children and even the parents feel real, even though at times it can be very cartoony. The movie feels longer than it actually is, in my opinion. This movie feels like a 2.5 hour long movie. It's like an hour and 30 minutes. It just feels like it's going on for so long. And I find this movie so boring. I really do. I want this movie to not be so boring, but it is. It just feels so boring. I can't stand it. And I think part of that reason is too, actually, it's kind of just the life of this child. It's not doing much. It's just this kid's normal life, and he so happens to have these things happen in his life. Some of them are exciting, some of them are just kind of dumb. And I think that's maybe why it's so boring. It's just a couple days of this kid's life. It's just boring. I don't know. There are some really funny moments, though. The kid getting his tongue stuck on the pole, all the kids going back to class and just leaving him there. The mom putting the jacket and stuff around the kid and his arms can't go down. It is funny. My favorite, though, has got to be the kid crying under the cupboard and the mom opening the cupboard and going, "What's wrong?" And he's just like, "Dad's gonna kill Ralphie." She's like, "Oh, no, he won't, honey." "Yes, he will." "No, he won't." "Yes, he will." "Do you want a glass of milk?" "Yeah, okay." She gives him the glass of milk and closes the cupboard. I love that scene. I laugh so hard when I watch that. It's like the only moment that I full on just laugh at. This also is a very heartwarming tale, I will say that. It's a great story about family. I will give it that. Great Christmas score, I'll say that. Other than that, I think this movie's very overrated. This movie's talked about a lot. It's on everyone's favorite Christmas movies list. I don't understand it. I really don't. It's just, there's some good stuff, but the pacing's off. The story is boring, and the characters are fine. They're not terrible. I don't know. The father's kind of a terrible person at times. And it's just all over the place, in my opinion. What's with the lamp? It's there, and then it's broken, and it's gone. And just Ralphie wants a gun, and I don't know. I just find this movie very messy and boring and terribly paced. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just not that great in my book. I don't know. I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 10. It's fine. I just don't understand why everyone likes it. I really don't. I don't know. I'm kind of bored by it. Really am. I want to make sure this is working because things have been weird tonight with technology. And my phone will not just stay straight. Are you straight? Nope, you're crooked. You're very crooked. Stop being crooked, guys. Okay, you know what? It's not good enough. Okay, how about that? Does that look better? No. Guys, look like my dick, slightly tilted to the left. That was a weird thing to say. Moving on to the next movie, guys. A Christmas Story Christmas. This has been a really weird episode, hasn't it? Christmas Story, Christmas, guys. Sequel to A Christmas Story. Just like the first, I don't like this one. This movie is very fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm very confused by that. I do not think this movie is good at all. The acting is so very wooden in this movie, and every single person acting in this movie is just terrible and wooden and feels forced, in my personal opinion. The script is not good at all. There's just things that are said that no one says that. I think this one's even more boring than the first. It's longer than the first. I didn't care about anything that was going on. Ralphie is now this writer, and I want to be a successful writer, and his book is like 2,000 pages long, and nobody in their right mind would publish that. I mean, people shouldn't publish Stephen King's 2,000-page crap, but good golly. The fantasies are so dumb in this movie. The fantasies in the first one work because he's a child. Now he's adult, and he's just having these stupid fantasies that are so dumb. And I just rolled my eyes every time a fantasy came on screen. This movie's not funny either. This movie's trying to be funny. It's trying to do things that are funny. It's just not funny. It's so stupid. I was so bored by this movie. I was about ready to poke my eyeballs out. I looked at Facebook, which I don't usually do all that much. Oh, excuse me. I was looking at Instagram, which I don't normally do all that much, and I just was so bored by this. I could not believe how bored I was by this. I really was. It's really not as heartwarming this time around either. It really tries. I don't want to spoil the movie, but there's this plot point with a character, and it's going for the pulling your heartstrings, and it just didn't for me. I went, okay, seen that before. Do you want me to cry? Because I'm not crying. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's really not great. And just this plot line of Ralphie wanting to be a writer is just so unbelievable. Guys, what is wrong with me? I don't know. Anyways, guys, this plot line of Ralphie being a writer is terrible. Hated it. This movie also is kind of redoing the original, but in less interesting ways. It's really trying very hard to create moments. I'm going to turn off my fan. My fan's on right now to push down the heat, but I just feel like you can hear it, and I don't want that to be the case. But I have this microphone now, so hopefully that'll help. Not that light. Not that. That. Oh, that's better. Oh, okay. Here we go. But yeah, guys, this movie is really trying hard to do the original, and it's just not as interesting. It's not as good. And I didn't even think the first one was good, but it's really just that boring in my opinion. Again, reviews are strong for this one, and I don't understand. I really don't. This is still working. Okay, good. I don't understand why the reviews are so strong for this one. On Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's certified fresh. I don't understand it. But again, the first one's beloved, and I just think it's stupid. So, it's not stupid. It's just fine. So yeah, maybe these movies just aren't for me, guys. I don't know. I don't know what it is about these movies, guys. I don't like them. They're boring. And I want to slit my eyeballs in half. Yeah. I want to literally pull them out, split them in half. That's how boring I think these movies are. I don't know. I'll give this one like a 3 out of 10, guys. This movie is bad, in my opinion. It is bad. There's so many bad, just like stupid jokes and that aren't funny, and it's not heartwarming to me. And the stupid plot line of him becoming a writer is just, it's so unbelievably boring. See, guys, I'm so bored by this movie that I'm yawning. Moving on, guys. Next up, guys, I kind of talked about this in a couple videos ago, my favorite Christmas movies. But I'm going to really talk about this time because I actually went and saw this movie in a theater, local theater, the theater that I usually always go to that wasn't AMC, is now a local theater. They did Christmas classics. And so I went to go to the grand opening of the theater and see some Christmas classics. So I went and saw Elf first. And Guys, I love this movie. Elf is such a great movie. I remember seeing this for the first time at my cousin's house, and it probably would have been the year after it came out or something like that, and just absolutely loving it, laughing my butt off. I love how funny this movie is. It is such a great comedy. This is a comedy that doesn't necessarily need to be called a Christmas comedy. It's just a great comedy, period. It is so beautifully done. I love all the jokes in this movie. Uh, I love how quotable this movie is. Like, world's greatest cup of coffee. Good job. And then the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. And son of a nutcracker. My parents didn't like that one. Oh boy, did they get in trouble. Oh, he's an angry little elf. I mean, just so many things you can quote. What in the name of Sam Hill is that? My parents didn't like that one either. I just love how quotable this movie is. I love how funny the movie is. I just laugh every time I watch this movie. I love seeing this with the crowd like I did the night I saw it, and just everyone was laughing, and it was just such a shared experience that I loved. I loved how all actors are kind of committed to this movie. Like, you got the guy who plays Santa Claus, and he's committed. He is playing Santa Claus. Will Ferrell is playing Buddy the Elf, and he is committed. Zooey Deschanel is committed to this I'm too cool, kind of gothy, weird, emo kind of character. I just love it. I love everyone in this movie. I love all the actors in this movie. There's not a bad performance in my book. I love this so much. Jon Favreau does such a great job in directing this as well. He just really does bring out great performances from the actors in this movie. I love how he managed to make Buddy look so freaking huge in the North Pole, and just how magical he made New York City look. He did such a great job directing this, and he has that little cameo that is just perfect. I love his cameo in this as well. And I think, in part, the director, Jon Favreau, and the actors are what really just makes this such a great comedy and such a great heartwarming movie. I talked about a Christmas Story and how I didn't feel it was heartwarming, but it's not this super amazing heartwarming thing. And I don't know, this movie does it for me. And I think part of it is the fact that James Caan character just hates Buddy from the start, and he just eventually comes to realize all these amazing things about Buddy. I love how everyone kind of hates him at first, but they grow to love him. Except for certain people. There are certain people, like the secretary, for example, just kind of loves him immediately. Just loves his attitude and his demeanor, and I love that. Let's see, what else, guys? The writing, I think, is really great, too. It's so simple of a premise, really, at the end of the day. A guy looking for his dad. But it just, I don't know, the comedy in this was so well written. I don't know how much of it was improvised. And I love the action-ish sequence at the end. It's really not an action sequence. It's just Santa's got to get his sleigh moving, and he's getting chased. Like, it's just kind of a chase scene, and it so works. It so works for this movie, and I just love how magical it is. And at the end, when they're singing, when Zooey Deschanel's character starts singing Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and everyone starts singing, the theater started singing. It was great how infectious this movie was, and how everyone literally started singing this song because the movie was singing. And that was kind of the goal. The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. And it did it. We spread Christmas cheer that night. It was great. It was great. Also, the technical and production design of making the North Pole. The North Pole feels like such a cool place to live in, and how they mixed the CGI and the cartoon kind of story drawn images, and then I don't know, maybe some stop motion. I don't know, some of that other stuff, like the snowman. It's just wonderful. I love everything about it. Guys, this movie's great. I love this movie so much. Is it a bit childish at times? Yes. Does it rely on burp jokes? Yeah, a little bit, but I really do enjoy this movie. As far as, is this an Oscar-winning movie? No. It's, but again, it knows what it is. It knows it's not this perfect movie. It's just a great little Christmas holiday comedy, and it still works. It came out before even Thanksgiving, I realized. That's interesting. I did not know that. I want to see how much money this movie made. Was this movie like, why would they put this out in November? I wonder. I wonder if this movie had really good legs. I'm kind of interested to see. We have really gone off the rails in this episode, and I apologize ish, but I'm not going to apologize for what I do on this show, because I don't know, guys. This is me. This is what it's like to hang out with Cody. I mean, this movie did well. Let's see. It had a budget of 33. I mean, it made its money back opening weekend. I mean, that shows you something. Wow. And it's had all these re-releases. I want to go by weekend. Weekend. I hate Box Office Mojo now. Like, it's become such a pain in my royal rumpkus. Seriously, I need to upgrade in order to get the box. Really? I can't go week by week anymore? Oh, wait. Maybe if I do this. Hold on. Aha! Maybe. I want to see its week. There it is. Okay. So let's just look around Christmas. Like, oh yeah, this movie was 57%. I mean, 30%. Oh boy, this movie made bank. Oh, that's November. Around Thanksgiving, it made a bunch of money. Christmas, it did too. Okay, so it was smart of them. Because, I mean, by Thanksgiving, this movie had hit 100. And then it made another 70 million within the next. Yeah, so I guess the release for this was smart. It made a lot of money during Thanksgiving and during Christmas. So I guess smart move. I don't know whose idea that was, but smart move. Anyways, guys, that was a big sidetrack. I really love this movie, guys. It's nearly perfect for me. I don't think it is absolutely perfect, but it is a nearly perfect Christmas movie for me. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10, guys. I really like this movie a lot. Excuse me. It's one to watch every year, in my opinion. And I laugh every time I watch it. I love this movie so much. I loved watching it in the theater, and it's just great. Another movie I watch every Christmas, guys, Christmas Vacation. This movie is, again, hilarious, guys. I absolutely love this movie. Another one I watched in the theater the same night as I saw Elf. I did a double feature that night. And such a good movie, guys. It's so hilarious. Clark is in a complete dick. Just he does so many things that are awful. Says some awful things, and he's so self-centered, and just wow, he's not a great person sometimes. But he's kind of trying to do his best for his family, so you got to give him credit. So he's likable enough that you can watch the movie and enjoy the movie, and that's what matters. Acting and the characters in the movie is great. A lot of these characters are weird and dumb and over the top and that kind of stuff, but they work. Even smaller characters like some of the relatives, they don't have a whole heck of a lot to do, but they do great with what they are given. This movie is an absolute cartoon. So many things that just don't happen in real life happen. I mean, everything from the lights, everything from Cousin Eddie, just so much is so cartoony and doesn't happen in real life, but it works. The movie opens with literally a cartoon sequence, so it's not that big of a surprise when the movie starts like that, and it goes, it shows the tone from the beginning, so it works. John Hughes, his writing is absolutely perfect. I heard he was supposed to direct this one. He did the first one, didn't he? I think he did Vacation. Maybe I'm wrong. But I heard there was behind the scenes with Chevy Chase. I hear he's a difficult human being to be around. So, maybe that's part of the reason why Clark Griswold is such a dick, because he's literally just inspired by Chevy Chase. I don't know. But the writing's great. I love the mixture of heartwarming family with comedy. I think it's just great. Oh gosh, guys, I am yawning. I really do apologize. I honestly think I'm still tired from my trip. It was a great trip, but I'm tired. Uh, Production design. I love the character, and I'm going to call it the character of the house that they live in. Most of this movie is taking place in the house, and the house just becomes such a great character. Every room, the dining room, the kitchen, uh, the living room where they sit with the tree and such. It just everything feels like a character. I'm about to fart. Oh, fart joke for you. That was a good one. This is a weird episode, guys. Cheers. Merry Christmas. Good God. Yeah, guys. The design of the house is great. I absolutely love the design of the house. I love how it feels like a character. Another movie like Elf that is very quotable. Uh, oh my God, where do I even begin with this one? There are so many different lines in this movie. Okay, my favorite is they want you to say grace. They want you to do the blessing. And she's like, I pledge of allegiance to the flag. I love that. And then the end, and the rockets red glare, and it ends with her going, play ball. Those are that old granny lady is the best. She wrapped up her cat. Just everything. Put on a big fluffy bow. This movie's great. I love this movie. Again, quotable. I love that. Heartwarming. I love that. It's just so much fun. This movie is so much fun. And it's just great. I love this movie so much. I love this so much. One thing that has truly bugged me about this movie, though, which it is, I've already talked about how it is cartoony, but how the hell did they get that tree in their car? He's like, Dad, do you have a saw? There's no saw. It shows them walking to the point that Audrey is like literally can't close her eyes. She's freezing. How did they manage to uproot this tree, drag it back to their car? Did they bring the car? I don't think they could get the car out there. How did they do it? It bugs me every time. I just hate it. I hate it every time I see it. I'm like, you can't just uproot a tree and put it on your car. It just doesn't work like that. But again, it's cartoon. It's funny. Yeah. But again, guys, this is just another great, heartwarming, funny movie. Clark as a character is a bit unlikable at times, and it does bug me. And again, like I just did, there's some kind of, fart, jokey, sticky kind of humor. But it works. I love this movie so much, guys. It is so enjoyable. I remember the first time I watched this one, too. 8th grade, your advisee, your teachers, your TA, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. The teacher that you go to for the big announcements and stuff, they hand out your report card, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. That teacher, he showed this to us for a Christmas present. And boy, did I love it. And boy, do I still love it. Thank you, Mr. Masterson, I believe was his name. And Mr. Martins was the one who did Christmas Story. So thank you to my teachers in Moseley Middle School for showing me these movies. Well, not Christmas Story necessarily, but this one. Yeah. Anyways, guys, love this movie. I'm going to give it the same as Elf. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's really an enjoyable movie. I really do enjoy it. I love it a lot. All right. Let's move on. Next one, guys. I saw this movie actually in South Carolina. I got in on Monday. And I got in at around 3, 4 o'clock. And I knew that, or no, when did I get in? I got in around 1 o'clock. I take that back. I knew it was a little too late to try to get showings of houses. I didn't have any interviews that day. And I couldn't check in my hotel till 3, of course. So decided to go to what will be my new local cinema, a Regal Cinema. I will become a Regal member. So I'm really excited about that. But I went to go see a movie that I knew was not going to be playing anywhere near me. And that's the other thing I'm very excited about my new place, guys. These theaters show the littler movies. So I'm going to get to go to the theater to see the Netflix movies. I will not have to travel 2.5 hours anymore, or 2 hours like I did to go see a Glass Onion, to go see a movie anymore. I'm so excited about that. So very, very, very freaking excited about it. But anyways, guys, Spoiler alert, a movie that it was not going to be playing around me, so I decided to go see it. I knew nothing about this movie. I saw these posters and went, okay, so this is a Christmas love story. Guys, this is not a Christmas love story. Christmas is involved. Yes, there's a love story. It is a movie about a man, well, about a couple, and one of them gets cancer. Terminal cancer. I was not expecting that. Not at all. This is one of those moments where I go, maybe I should watch trailers. Maybe I should read synopsis before I go to see a movie like this. Because you have to emotionally prepare yourself sometimes for these kind of things. I just didn't. So it was a bit of a surprise. I will say that. What I will say is it's a cancer movie. You kind of know what's going to happen. It is very predictable in a sense. I believe it's based on a true story or based on a book at least. I think I saw at the end of the movie based on the book by whoever the one person is. So I think it is a true story. Leads are great. Jim Parsons, Ben Eldridge, Sally Field is absolutely great in this. All great performances. All the performances are absolutely great. There are a lot of issues that happen in this movie. Like, like, for example, I'm trying to think of one without spoiling the movie. Like, I'm trying to think. I really can't think of one at the moment. Okay, this is an example. Like, oh my gosh, I have to move in a week. How am I going to do it? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then the next scene is just fixed. They're moved. It's taken care of. Kind of things like that happen in this movie. And I just went, okay, what was the point of that then? It's trying to build drama, but it doesn't really work, I guess you could say. A lot of things like that happen, and it's just kind of fixed, and it bugged me. I don't like when there's problems and the next second it's just resolved like that. Like, what's the point of having the problem if it's going to be resolved the next second? It feels a lot longer than it is. I think it's a little under 2 hours. I think it's like an hour 30 or 40, something like that. But it does feel longer. It stretches on a little bit. There's a little too much melodramatic drama going on. And then again, like I just said, there's a lot of just issues that happen and are just suddenly resolved. Just like that. I will say this, though. The love story is sweet. It is a gay love story. I absolutely champion that. I've talked a couple times now about Bros and how good of a movie that was. This is another great love story. And for the most part, it ignores the fact that they're gay. There is one particular scene, though. Again, it's one of those things, though, that are kind of just resolved, where the one character's like, I hope my parents my parents don't know I'm gay. I hope they're okay finding out I'm gay. And they find out and they're like, oh yeah, who cares? And it's just resolved. It's like, but you had this big scene where he's talking about, oh, I don't want my parents knowing I'm gay. And then the next scene is just resolved. That's the kind of thing that bugged me. I guess that's an example from the movies. I kind of spoiled the part of the movie, I guess. But you don't know who it is, so I guess there's a 50-50 chance. But yeah. As far as the cancer story goes, it is very typical kind of cancer story. There are some kind of twists and turns throughout the movie that happen that I was not expecting, I guess you could say. And when they did, it went interesting. I'm guessing it's what happened in real life. My watch is going off. Oh, we'll get back to them later. Anyways, guys, so there are things that happen that are different that I did not expect. I'm guessing it's true to life or true to the book or something like that effect. And then some other things it does that just kind of was weird and misplaced and just didn't need to be in the movie. It was being a little too melodramatic for my liking. So yeah, it did feel a little longer. It does do different things than a typical cancer movie would do, which I liked. And some things I just didn't see coming. So it helped out a bit with the predictability of it all. And it helped in my enjoyment of the movie more. Again, I'm not sure if it's a true story or just based on a book. I'm going to have to look into it. But it is an enjoyable enough movie. It's from the director of Big Sick. It is well directed, well acted. the story is good enough. I'm not going to say it's this amazing story, but it's good. I will never watch this movie again, but I'm glad I watched it. I will say that. As far as what I'm going to rate this movie, I realize how much cold gets in through my windows. I have 25 more days here though, so I'm not going to worry about it. Anyways, guys, this movie's fine. It's nothing spectacular. I'll never watch it again, but it's good. If you like, I'm not going to say if you like cancer story. If you like a love story, this is a movie to check out, I guess. It's a very depressing love story, but you can check this one out, and I think you're going to not hate yourself. I'll give it, I'm at it like what am I at? I would say I'll go 7 on this one, but it's closer to a 6, honestly. If I could go 6.5 with this one, I probably would. I don't do 0.5s, though. It's either a 6 or it's a 7. I'm going to go 7. There's a lot to like here. Some things I really didn't like about it, though. But for the most part, I really enjoyed this movie, and I'm glad I saw it. Speaking of movies, I'm not glad of seeing White Noise, guys. Another movie I saw because I went, this movie's not going to be anywhere near me when in theaters at all. And I got to see it a week early. It's coming to, or what is it? I think it's coming to Netflix like this week. Something like that. Anyways, guys, I was excited that I got to see a movie that is coming to Netflix, and I get to see it a couple weeks early, like I did with Glass Onion. Boy, do I wish I hadn't seen this movie. This movie sucks. This is from Noah Baumbach, the man who did Marriage Story, a movie I absolutely loved. It was in my top 10, I think, of 2019. I really enjoyed that movie. Hard movie to watch. I don't think I've watched it since, but I do kind of want to check it out again. So yeah, Noah Baumbach again. It's got Adam Driver, Greta Gerwig, Don Cheadle, and this movie sucks. My God, what a boring movie. This might be one of the most boring movies I have ever watched. It's based on a book, I believe, and I believe it was on the blacklist of movies that just could never get made because it would just be so difficult to make. Yup, I agree. This movie is just so boring, guys. I could not believe how bored I was by this movie. The dialogue is very weird. It's almost like Shakespearean, but it doesn't make sense. And they're not Shakespearean. It's just like, they're like, I don't know. Like, it's just, do you want a cookie? You're not listening. Do you want a cookie? Do you want a cookie? Do you want a cookie? Like, that's the kind of thing they're doing. It's like, almost like, and then like, they'll say, it's weird. They'll say like, just random things like, I am George. But the way they say it is like, I am George. And there's supposed to be like a question mark. I don't know. It's so weird, guys. And then it's trying to be funny. There's these weird moments that I think are supposed to be funny, but they're not. I went, okay, so someone just got ran over and died. That's funny. Like, I just could not believe how weird and boring this movie was. And the dialogue is supposed to be that way, I think. I think that's kind of like how the book puts it up, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. The movie has so much going on. The first part of this movie is kind of just this family drama, and then it gets into like an apocalypse, and then it goes into more family drama, and then it kind of just ends. And it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Then it actually comes to like a crime thing at the end too. This movie is so weird. It's got all these things going on, and it just does not work. Really doesn't. Acting is fine, but it is just like it's interrupted by this weird dialogue that no one can pull off. Like, Adam Driver is a great actor. He ain't pulling this crap off. It's terrible. I think it is so weird and so terrible, and it just does not work. This movie is cringy. Absolutely cringy. There was just moments where I went, oh my God, this is just awful. Like, Don Cheadle, you can do better than this man. So bad. Ugh. The movie also has this weird obsession with Elvis and Hitler. Like, Adam Driver's character is a teacher that teaches a class on Hitler. And there's this weird scene where he is just, Hitler stood there and Well, actually, it was more like, and Hitler, he stood there, and everyone raised their hands to him, and to him and he was great and strong and powerful. And then Don Cheadle's all about Elvis. He was the king of rock and roll, and he danced, and it was great. What the hell is wrong with this movie? God, this movie is so flippin' bad. The technical aspects of this movie, I guess, are fine. It looks good. There's like a scene where they're like driving through the woods and they end up in like this river or stream or something, and like the car being in the river looks great. There's some like interesting some interesting effects that happen in this movie. It's nothing spectacular though. It's just, oh my god. This is just such a bad movie, guys. It's such a crap story. It's such a bad movie. I kind of want to read the book to see if this book is as messy as the movie. I don't know, guys. But this is going to be in my top 10 worst movies of the year. I hated this movie. So absolutely terrible. Such a bad movie. Hold on. I'm looking at this poster. The Venice Film Festival. The Venice Film Festival? People were like, the New York Film, the BFI London. What the fudge? Oh my god, I'm taking a drink. Film festivals like this movie. I'm speechless. Wow. Okay. Guys, this movie should not be liked by many film, but okay, you know what? Maybe I'm going to say this. Maybe this just wasn't for me. Maybe you should check it out and see what you think. Oh my god, I don't like saying that is like drinking vinegar. This movie sucks, guys. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. It's bad. The direction, there's some beautifully directed moments. I'll say that. Some great camera angle movements kind of things. This movie is so bad, though. Guys, I don't know what to say. I'm blown away by that. Let's talk about another movie, guys. So, guys, I knew that I'd be heading to South Carolina the week of Avatar: The Way of Water. I knew I wanted to see this in theaters to try to get that experience that everyone talked about with the first one, because I do not think I ever saw the first one in theaters until this year. So I was kind of excited to get this experience. And I thought seeing the first one in 3D, like, yeah, I get it. The 3D is really cool. I get it. Just didn't think the movie was all that great. So this time around, guys, I was very, very, very excited, because I looked it up on my phone. There was an IMAX theater about 15 minutes from where I was staying in Greenville, where I'm going to be living in Greenville. So I'm going to have an IMAX theater to go to from now on, and that's awesome. So I was very excited, guys, to see this movie in IMAX 3D. Very excited. So yeah, I went and saw this in IMAX 3D. It was amazing. To see it in IMAX 3D, I'll say that right now, it was incredible. What I will say, though, is, again, I'm not the biggest fan of the first movie. It's very forgettable. I think I've watched it maybe 5 times in my life. It's nothing spectacular in my book. The technical masterpiece of the first is so great. The movie itself is just my personal opinion. I know people are going to completely disagree with me on that, and that's fine. This movie is no different for me. The story for this movie, guys, is really no different. The first 45 minutes of this movie is honestly kind of boring. It's essentially previously on Avatar in the time that actually, you know what? This movie feels like Avatar 5. I don't know what that sound was. This movie feels like Avatar 5. And the first 45 minutes of this movie is recapping 2, 3, 4. The ones that we didn't get to see. It's insane how boring it kind of was. And then the movie very much becomes what the first one was. They go to a new place as a family this time around. They are outsiders. They have to learn the ways. And then there's a big battle sequence. That's essentially what the first movie was. This movie is literally the exact same thing as the second movie. Yeah. And I'm sorry to say that, guys. I know so many people love these movies, and I just can't. I don't hate them. They're fine, but ugh. I will say this. Sully was a character in the first one that I just did not love. I found him very boring, and it's not that great of a character. And part of it, I think, was Sam Worthington. I don't think he's a great actor, and I just don't think he pulled it off. He's not in this one as much, which helped. I will say that. It's more focused on the kids, which I think the kids are better than Sam Worthington's character. Zoe Saldana's character, though, what is it, Natiri? She's the best part of the first one. She's not in this one as much. She is very much sidelined, and the kids are what's front and center. There is a new character that's, he's kind of introduced. He's somewhat in the first one, but there's a kid by the name of Spider. The actor playing him is not good. Not good at all. There is so many wooden, bad moments that he has in this movie that I just went, wow, you're bad. And I'm so sorry to that kid that plays him. I think he's like 18 now. I'm sure in the future you will do amazing. This first role you did, though, not good. My personal opinion. I also can't tell the difference between some of these people. There are the two teenage boys. I can't tell who's who. Sometimes I'm like, are you Sully? Oh, no, you're one of the kids. And I just can't tell the difference. I wish they would do more so that we know that they're different and who's who, and it just doesn't, I don't know. I can't tell who they are. This movie is also way too long. It is 3 hours and 12 minutes. It so does not need to be. There's no reason for this movie to be 3 hours and 12 minutes. Easily could have been 2.5 hours. Honestly, guys, I think this second movie should have been what the first 45 minutes of this movie essentially is. And for some reason, it just kind of recaps that and goes on to do what the first movie, it literally remakes the first movie. And good golly. I just really didn't love this movie, guys. So yeah, I could easily take out so much of this movie. Very easily. Like I said, saw it in IMAX 3D. I will say this, the underwater sequences are incredible. There are moments where the water is like coming up and it felt like I was in water, like looking out over this. And I kind of do want to go see this in 3D again. I will say that. I would really love to see this in IMAX 3D again. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. But I will go maybe check this out in 3D again. Maybe on Tuesday. Well, it is Tuesday. Maybe I should have did it. Well, I didn't feel like going to movies today. Maybe next week. Anyways, guys. Yeah. Yeah. The 3D is good. I will say that. This is an experience. This is not a movie I'm ever going to watch at home. I will say that. I'll maybe watch it before going to see the third. But I don't feel the need to go buy this or anything like that. Less Sully was really good for me. There is more focus on the kids. I will say this, guys. If you're a fan of the first, you're going to like this one. If you're not a fan of the first, I've actually heard some people like the second one more. Liked this one more than the first? Not by much. So if you're a fan of the first, you're going to like it. If you're not a fan of the first, you might like it. But if you really weren't a fan of the first, you're really not going to be a fan of this one. It's the same thing. It's just the same movie all over again, in my opinion. And it's just so boring. Like I said, slightly better, not by much. And I have no interest in watching this movie at home. I think I'm going to give this the exact same grade as I did the first one. I think I gave the first one a 6. I'd maybe go 7. And I'm going to go with that with this. I'm going to say it's more of a 6 for me. The technical aspects, yes, it is an experience to go experience in the cinema. Go see this in the movies. Even if you didn't like this movie, go to the movies and see this. Go see it in IMAX 3D if you are able to. If you have one close enough, drive a half hour, 45 minutes, drive an hour, drive 2 hours maybe even to go see this one in IMAX 3D. It's worth that. Is it a great movie necessarily? No, not really. It's just good. I know, not everyone's going to like that opinion. So let's just take a drink. I apologize. Let's move on to the final movie of this week. Brian and Charles, guys. This is a movie that Dan Murrell, someone I watch for Box Office and such like that. I've talked about him so many times. If you have not checked out Dan Murrell, I might put his channel in here. I would like everyone to go check him out. He's such a great person to watch. He does reviews. He also talks about the box office specifically. That's what I love about him. Every Tuesday is box office day. I just, on the edge of my seat, waiting for his videos to come out on Tuesday, talking about the box office. And I believe he recommended this movie. He recommended it probably months ago. And I just hadn't gotten to it. And then I was on the plane coming back from South Carolina. And American Airlines has free movies that you can watch. And I thought, well, I'll watch when I have nothing better to do. And I started watching this. And I went, this would be so much better if I just watched this at home. So I stopped watching it. And I came home and I watched it. And it is so much better at home. Don't watch movies on a plane, guys. I don't know, maybe watch a TV show you've watched 100,000 times or a movie you watched 100,000 times, but don't watch a new movie on an airplane on your phone. Like Top Gun Maverick was in the list of movies you could watch. And I was like, I am not watching. Tom Cruise would be pissed if he knew that I was watching this movie on an airplane on my teeny tiny phone. Just wrong. Not cool. So anyways, guys, came home, watched Brian Charles. This is a really interesting, quirky, British comedy that also happens to have a lot of heart. The movie is about a man who is very lonely. He's this inventor, and he decides to make a robot out of a washer machine. And he names him Charles. And it's just a really weird, funny movie, and I absolutely loved it. I was chuckling throughout this movie a lot. The first 10 minutes alone, I was like, what the hell am I watching? This is great. It is so funny. Charles the robot is kind of like a dog in this movie. And the chemistry that he and Brian have is so great. I just love it. He needs to be like trained and taught what to do. And it's just funny as hell. Brian is just an interesting, sad character that, again, he's almost like a child in himself, and you just can't help but you just kind of go, oh, poor guy, and you know what, man, you're all right. I don't know. He's such an interesting character. It's such a charming film, and it is a beautiful movie about friendship. And it's also, this is a great movie to watch when you're just having a bad day. When you're feeling depressed, watch this movie. It's one of those movies. It's just a touching, nice little film. The character design and the robot look is so great. I love it. Oh, excuse me. And it's not too long. It's like an hour and a half long, and it is such an interesting movie. I loved it so much. I will say the last half starts dragging a little bit. It starts doing more of this. It's something that I feel like a lot of comedies have been doing nowadays. It's where they feel that the end needs to have this big, awesome, dramatic sequence, and it just doesn't. It has this sequence that really doesn't need to be there. So I will say that. It tries a little too hard by the end. I will say that. So yeah, guys, all around though, this is a really good, quirky, kind of weird British comedy, and I absolutely loved it. Check it out, especially if you're having like a bad day. This is one to check out. I'll give this one like an 8 out of 10. I really, really did enjoy this one. I think that's the end of that's it, guys. That's the end of my movies for this week. Not a lot of new movies coming out. Well, there is. That's not true. And I don't have posters. I apologize. I forgot about that once again. But we have Babylon coming out this week, I believe. Puss in Boots is coming out this week. And I Want to Dance with Somebody is coming out this week, I believe. Let's see. Puss in Boots. It's at like 97% on the tomato meter. It is like getting great reviews. So I kind of am getting excited for it. I want to rewatch Puss in Boots. I do not remember watching Puss in Boots. Maybe I can find it on one of the streaming services. And yeah. Other one that's coming out, Babylon, Damien Chazelle movie. I am hearing nothing great about this movie. It's like 3 hours and 8 minutes long. Great cast. I love Damien Chazelle's first two movies. I love Whiplash. I love La La Land. I do not love First Man, like, at all. I found that movie so boring. So yeah, as far as Babylon goes, I want to be more excited about it, but from all the things I've heard, it's making me less and less excited about it. I'll give it like a 6 out of 10. I am not super excited. I didn't really rate Puss in Boots. I'm going to give Puss in Boots like a 7 out of 10. I am getting really excited actually for Puss in Boots just because it's got such great reviews. I can't think of anything else. I'm sure. Oh, Matilda the musical, I believe, is coming out. There's a lot for me to watch this week, guys. I'm going to do my best to try to watch it. I work day shifts this week, so we'll see how much I get to watch. Might not be a lot. Christmas Eve, I'm probably going to try to go to the movies and see some movies, some of those new movies I talked about. Christmas Day, I have to spend time with my family for the final time. I am never coming back here for Christmas ever again because I hate snow. So, yeah. I'm so happy, guys, that I'm getting away from the snow. You have no idea how happy that makes me, and part of the reason why probably this episode was so goofy is just I'm just so happy, guys. I'm so excited for what's to come. I'm so excited for this reboot of my life. My new apartment it's smaller than this one, but it has a community pool with just the people that live in these apartment buildings. It has like a computer room, a gym. I can get a dog. I'm just very excited for what's to come, and I'm just so happy, guys. But yeah, guys, that's the end of this episode of Code Man Movies. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you check out Brian and Charles. This is a movie that I think more people need to check out. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys have a great week. Have a great Christmas. Will I see you before New Year's? When is New Year's? I think I'll see you before New Year's. I'll probably have a video up before New Year's. We'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, share. I want to get to 80 by the end of this year. We are at 73. We are so close. So if you could just keep liking and sharing, please, please, please. Subscribe if you are watching and you haven't subscribed. I just want to get to 80. That's not even that big of a goal. Like, I know the one channel I watch, they're like, let's get to 60,000. I'm like, I'll take 80, please. Just 80. That's not even that much. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a great week. What are we at here? We're almost at, we're probably over an hour at this point with me just ranting. Oh, 57 minutes. I haven't even hit an hour, so yay me. All right, guys. You guys have yourself a great night, a great Christmas. I will see you soon. Have a good one. Bye.